What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be doing a full detail on this forward edge, and I'll also be doing a one-step polish process over the entire vehicle as there are some scratches that the customer wants removed. But before we jump into that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, turn the bell on, and yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's go.
Alright guys, so before we can get to polishing the paint, we need to get it perfectly clean, and that starts with a pre-wash rinse of the vehicle. And now, because this vehicle has carpet in the fender wells, we need to get the pressure washer nice and close in there to blast out all the dirt that's trapped in those carpet fibers. Really, this is the only way to get these things clean because, as you can imagine, they're almost always full of dirt. Moving to the front where we've got all those dead bugs to deal with, and so keeping with the philosophy of getting the vehicle as clean as possible with the pressure washer, I'll use it to spray as many of them off as I can, and you'll see I'm able to get pretty close to the paint with it, and that's because I'm using a 40-degree tip on my wand and about 2000 psi on the pressure washer, so it's perfectly safe. Now for the wheels, I spray on some Meguiar's non-acid wheel and tire cleaner, which is perfectly safe for all wheel finishes, and using a variety of brushes, this cleaner is able to cut through all the dirt and grime on the tires and rims and get them perfectly clean. Alright, moving back to those bugs, and because what's left on the vehicle is obviously very firmly attached, I'm spraying on some Wolfgang bug remover, which is going to safely dissolve those bug guts and make them easy to remove with my wash mitt. Now for the bug guts that are down in the cracks and crevices though, I'm using my detail brush to agitate those and basically make sure the front end is spotless and completely free of bugs. Alright, now that we've got the vehicle in the garage and out of the sun, I'll use my super plush microfiber drying towel to easily dry the vehicle in just a couple of minutes. Now that we've got the outside clean and dry, it's time to move to the interior and start by removing all the floor mats in the vehicle. Then go through all the compartments to get any garbage or loose items. And as you can see, the cavernous hole that is the center console was basically full of garbage and junk. So we've got to get all that out and put it off to the side so we can clean down in there later. So typically the carpets in the trunk area of any vehicle are going to have carpet that loves to trap and hold onto dirt and grass and stuff like that. So if you guys don't have a carpet brush, I would definitely recommend grabbing one, as they really do a great job of getting down into the fibers and lifting all that dirt up so it can be vacuumed up. I've got a link to all the products and tools I use in this video in the description, so feel free to check those out if you guys are interested. Okay, so moving to the pedals, and what I'm using here is all-purpose cleaner diluted at a 4:1 ratio, and my carpet brush to agitate and get all the dirt and the rocks out, and then wiping them down with a clean microfiber towel. Okay, now it's time to turn our attention to the carpets, and the process here is pretty simple. You start by spraying on some carpet cleaning solution, then agitate with the drill brush to get the trapped dirt to the surface, and then suck it all up with the extractor. So I've been using this Bissell Spot Clean Professional Extractor in pretty well every detail that I've done since I bought it a couple months ago, and can say with certainty that if you guys have ever considered picking one up, either for your car or even inside the house to deal with any spills or stains on carpet, this little machine will blow you away. It's got a ton of suction power, has a very, very high build quality, so I would highly recommend this unit. Check out the link in the description if you guys are at all interested. You certainly won't be disappointed. Check out that dirty water. It feels so good to know how much cleaner those carpets are now. Now it's time to UV protect all the interior trim, and for that I'm applying my favorite product, Aerospace 303, to give it that deep matte look that will last for several weeks, but most importantly prevent the interior from fading or cracking from the sun's damaging UV rays. Next up is the leather, and because this vehicle has split suede and leather seats, the process is actually a little bit different to get them clean. For the leather, I can use that soft horsehair brush to agitate the cleaner, but for the suede it's far more delicate and needs a lighter touch. So using a detail brush, I apply some cleaner into the brush and then gently agitate the suede and blot it dry with a dry microfiber towel, repeating this process over the rest of the suede. Alright, now that we've got the interior finished, it's time to turn our attention to the paint. And we start the decontamination process, and for that I'm using Pinnacle Ultra Poly Clay and a quick detailer acting as lubricant to ensure that all the surface bonded contaminants like tar, tree sap, or any other road grime are removed from the paint. Okay, now that I'm done claying, it's finally time to get up my flex light and check what shape this paint is in. Now the customer told me about some of the trouble spots, but this is actually my first time seeing them, and overall the paint really isn't too bad. There's a few etchings and water spots, and there's some light swirl marks over the entire vehicle, but I'm hopeful that doing that one-step polish is going to remove at least 95% of those defects. Now the first thing I always do when correcting paint is to do a quick test spot where I can test which polish and pad combo is going to work best in the least aggressive manner, so that I don't remove more clear coat than is absolutely necessary. So after I do a couple passes with this combo, I'll have a quick look with my light to see how it's working, and it's looking like it's going to give me the results that I'm looking for. I'll bring you guys in close to see. So the right side is before and the left side is after. As you can see, all the swirling has been removed, so now I know that this combo is going to work. So really it's just a matter of repeating the process over the rest of the vehicle and then continuing to check with the light just to make sure I'm not missing anything as I go. So the pads that I'm using here are microfiber cutting discs, and while they're really quite phenomenal to work with, the fibers get matted down after every section that I do. So I'll take my pad cleaning tool and run it against the pad while it's on to help lift those fibers up and get it prepped for the next section. I also thought I would show you guys kind of a real-time clip here so you can see how much product that I'm using and the speed that I make my passes at. So for each section, I'll do anywhere from 3 to 6 overlapping passes, depending on the level of correction that's needed, remove the excess product after, and then inspect the results. It's really that simple. Paint correction really doesn't have to be something that's reserved only for the pros. Anyone can do it. The dual action polisher that I'm using is super easy to use. It's relatively cheap, and it's perfectly safe, as unless you guys are holding it in one spot on the paint, it has an extremely low risk of ever damaging the paint. I've got the link in the description if you guys are at all interested in checking that out. Now that the paint is polished and the swirls are removed, it's time to slap on a finishing pad and protect the paint. And for that I'm using Meguiar's Mirror Glaze Synthetic Sealant, which is going to add some nice gloss and keep the paint protected for up to 6 months. And the great thing about this product is the fact that I can apply to the entire vehicle, and then about 20 minutes later when it's dry, I just simply wipe it off with a microfiber towel. Alright, second to last is to clean that glass inside and out using Meguiar's glass cleaner, which smells amazing by the way, and a waffle weave towel, leaving it with a streak-free finish. The very last step is to dress the tires, and I do that with CarPro Pearl diluted at a 2-to-1 ratio.
All right, we are done with this Ford Edge, and honestly, I gotta tell you guys, even I'm impressed with how good this thing turned out. That polish just brought back all the depth and the gloss. This thing honestly looks better than brand new. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.